I'm Rosie, and as you've already heard, I do partners in research and have a massive love for co-production and finding ways to get people involved. And Mike has come to join us today. Do you want to tell everyone about yourself?
Yeah, apart from what Rosie's put down in the document about myself, I actually started this 3 years ago, not long after I've been diagnosed with dementia. In fact, the person who diagnosed me is actually sitting in the audience, Dr. Powell. And after I was diagnosed, I thought, I'm not going to let this beat me. I'm going to join it. So I started looking at all the different sites about work in dementia. And being an ex-student at Stirling University, so I hooked on to Stirling, and then joined up with Louise, who actually just started a project on the life-changing trust, and they were looking for co-researchers. So the next thing, I was on board, and 2.5 years later, we got the thing, done. And in between that time, I was introduced to Rosie, and that's how she got me. I wouldn't say rope into it, but that's how she got me into doing all the works that we're talking about this afternoon.
I think you can say roped into, because almost every activity that we do, I manage to get Mike on board. So I know what one of the slides says, so I'll just wing it if you want. So essentially we do a range of different types of research, and the level of involvement people can have varies. One of the main things we tried to make sure of is that there wasn't a kind of inclusion or exclusion criteria for people being involved. If you're interested, get involved. Because we know with things like clinical trials, there's very rightly quite a lot of inclusion and exclusion criteria. So it started with kind of reviewing research materials, didn't it, and just giving feedback and trying to see what we had going on. And then it seems to have just grown arms and legs. There we go. Do you want to skip to that? That's it. Where we then started looking at other ways that we could involve people. Can you skip 2 slides? So before, I thought it shouldn't just be my voice. We've got lots of people involved. So I'll show you a video just shortly. But just so you know some of the activities that we currently have going on. The first one is a network grant where myself and my colleague Miles and our partners in research have been involved in trying to get people with an interest in co-production, or who maybe have some research experience or kind of cross paths with research, to talk to us about what their understanding of these things are, so that we can pull together a Scottish strategy for co-production. So far we found networking, it's really hard to pull everyone together because we're all just trying to get our own things done, and having that time can be really difficult. If you are interested, we have leaflets somewhere.
I believe we do. On the NDN stall.
On the NDN stall, that has more details. We obviously are doing conference presentations. One of the things that has possibly been the bane of Mike's life is the literature review, which, so myself, 2 people with dementia, and Denise Monroe and Rose Vincent have been trying to basically scope for as much literature on co-production and patient-public involvement. But we've also been looking, you in particular, Mike, at the kind of grey literature and literature that's maybe not in academic journals, but actually we know there's these really good examples, so trying to pull those together. A big thing that has a looming deadline, so I might look a little bit scared of it, is we have been really lucky to have an agreement with Palgrave to publish a book that includes the experiences of our partners in research. And within that, we've kind of weaved in some topics of key importance. So a big one that I know you were a big part of, Mike, was this idea that people say you don't look like you have dementia. So talking about the experiences people like yourself have had with that, sharing what that's meant for people, and then having their stories. So then I'm going to get you to go back one, because I'm aware of timing. So I thought, instead of just hearing from us, we'll hear a little bit more from our other partners in research, and then I'll let you add anything else you want to add in, Mike. Is that all right?
I think the main thing about the co-research is we are equal partners. We value each other's opinion. We value each other's suggestion. We do reject some of them as well, mainly from Rosie, but I think the big thing about it is the equal partnership that is so important in co-research and partnership,
Absolutely. Do you want to sit down while the video's on?
Yeah, thanks.
What I hope comes from collaborations like this is a shared sense of purpose. And as I say, there are things we all want that I think are givens in terms of cures, in terms of pharmaceutical help. But when I look at what research is undertaken, that is the vast majority of research. And there is much less research into how to live well with dementia, how to cope with all the differing symptoms. Sometimes those little things are really confounding for us folk. I think fundamentally what I'm hoping is that this is something which kind of bridges the gap, really. It bridges the gap between the academic world of research and the nitty-gritty lives that we live.
His focus was on let people know. That was always his, he would say to friends that we met quite openly, "Oh, I have dementia. It doesn't mean I have to be locked away and forgotten about. Please still include me in various things that are going on." So I think there's got to be an inclusiveness for the people who are going through the dementia journey.
I firmly believe that they need to engage with us. They need to sit in the same room as us. They need to listen to what we have to say. There are many reasons for all neurological illnesses, and there's no one cure. And I really think we have to waken them up to the academic research is important, I agree, but it's not the only type of research that you need. You need to know exactly how people have felt, what they've seen, what they've experienced.
Hearing is different than listening. Mm-hmm. They hear us, the professionals, but they don't listen to us. Mm-hmm. On the last interview that I had at the memory clinic, I knew more about this condition than the person that was interviewing me. Yeah, we'd like to be in the driving seat, there's no doubt about it, but we still need a sat-nav. We are prepared to do the talking, we're prepared to do the donkey work, but we need a platform where we can put our point across and have a voice. So if somebody is prepared to provide us that, I'm prepared to do whatever, because you see, at the end of the day, it's the same thing. We've got a goal, and that goal is that we want to do something about this horrible illness, this horrible condition. And the only way to do something about it is by talking to people with it.
To me, a partner in research is that we're entering the platform in equals. It's not about us against them. It's about us sharing our life experience. I think that's the whole idea of partner research. We have got to learn from each other. It's not us against them. We've got to work together as a team. I think that's the whole idea of this project. There are so many experiences that we can contribute towards the research. That's why I like to see that you would accept or listen to us. That's one of the things that the guys were talking about. I'm pretty sure you will listen to us. I mean, you listen to us anyway, Rosie, don't you?
We have to have balanced discussions, because a lot of the people with the lived experience, whether they're carers or people living with a diagnosis of something, they have a need to express their emotions and their feelings, etc. And once you get that out of the way, so to speak, and everybody understands the background of where people are coming from, that's when the researchers can move forward, and that's where learning together comes from. But researchers are human beings too, so they need to give us a wee bit about their human side as well, so that we're working together as a team, as human beings. I would like to see changes made so that when we're researching, we know who the outcome is for. It has to make a difference to the person and the research that you're doing. If it doesn't make a difference, then I don't want to participate. I think we need to make it more simple, even for the academics, so that they could get on with the appropriate research to give an outcome to families and professionals doing a job. So there's lots of good things going to come out of this, and a lot that we don't know yet, you know. So we'll all be learning from one another, and that's why I think with the expertise round the table and sitting and all the wee events that you're going to have in that, bringing it together, this book should be an academic bestseller. And I only hope it's done in my lifetime of dementia.
Know the person that's actually talking to you. Get to know the person. Do the homework on him. And I think the important things I've written now here is, number one is trust, respect, understand, and communicate in a dementia-friendly language, if you like. If you met one person with dementia, you met one person with dementia. Now, they always say that, but nobody practices it. You know, there are times when we are living with the condition. There are times when we are struggling with the condition. There are times when we're trying to come to terms with the condition. And there are times when we are suffering with the condition. And all that can happen to a person with dementia within short spell of time.
The legacy of partner research would open up doors into things like heart diseases, cancer, and all that. They could see, oh, hang on a minute, the dementia group has done something really useful in terms of partner research. We could do something like that, you know.
The amount of experience that was on this Zoom, right, is amazing in the research field, not just lived experience, but actually doing and participating, collaborating, and like with the pioneers, actually instigating research. So that's great. But your academic and educational skills at the partnering with us makes it more powerful. So together we are stronger, you know, and if we can get that out to other researchers about how it makes your research more powerful, and it's worth the effort at the beginning to get to see the humanness of it, and then build from there a strong foundation, and then build from there. We are making a difference. Together we are going to make a difference, you know.
Yeah, there's lots of voices who aren't in that video, and we've got some of their pictures and a bit about them on one of the posters outside. Just to also flag that we are in the early building processes of a similar group that focuses in on care homes, which is known as Rich Voices, and there'll be more information about that at the Enrich conference next month. And just for me to say thank you to Emma and Tom for prioritising this work and making it a huge part of the strategy, because that's also why we've been able to move so far forward really in just a short space of time. So we're very grateful for that, and to all the partners in research. Have you got anything you'd like to add, Mike?
No, that's fine. You've said
You're happy with that? Fabulous. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
So much, Mike.